thing is I want to show you what materials you're going to need that are different. So we're going to use a pretty big block of clay because you're rolling 2 slabs, or 3 if there's 3 of you. These guys right here, they're located right there behind Grant, and they're called slab sticks, right? These are going to go on either side of your block of clay because they're going to make it so that our block of clay is rolled out to a perfect even thickness, which is one of your proficiency criteria. Okay? This guy right here is just a knife tool. It's for cutting clay. Hey, Christian, whatever you got that's distracting you, I want to make sure you're getting these instructions, okay? Alright, so this is for cutting clay, and you can use a needle tool, but this is a little stronger, and for slabs we usually use some kind of knife tool. And then this guy right here is, we call a right angle ruler, right? So, or a speed square if you are a drywaller. So this is just a tool that you get at Lowe's, but what it does is it helps you cut perfect right angles, which is another criteria you're going to have to meet. This one y'all know, right? Yeah. Rolling pin, because you're always like making dough and rolling it out. That's what we do these days. Okay, so we're going to take our slab of clay and we're going to roll it out to a long and skinny rectangle. Okay? You guys' measurements that you have to be able to create is you want to roll out, so a slab is just a pancake of clay, but then we're going to cut it to be 4 inches by 4 inches, and it needs to be perfect thickness throughout. So that means your slab sticks have to be used properly. Okay? So, when you're rolling out clay, it's not terribly different than dough, except for in a few ways. So, the first one being, you want to rotate your clay every direction, right? Because you want your rolling to be rolling it out in all directions, because that helps keep it even, right? If your rectangle isn't quite 4 inches wide, you might want to swap it this way, as long as your slab sticks can still guide you. Oh, no, they can't. They can't do it. I think I can get 4 inches. So you want to make sure, so how the slab sticks work is they have to be under your rolling pin, okay? And if they're not going to be able to catch your rolling pin if it goes too low. Flip your slab. Okay, so the first thing that we need, in order to cut a perfect square, we need to cut one perfectly straight edge, okay? And so we want to remove the smallest amount of clay possible. So I'm going to just take off this little slice right here. So you're going to hold your slab stick. Only use the slab stick for the first cut, okay? I'm going to put that to the side. That's now scrapped. So now I have this perfectly straight line. And after you get one perfectly straight line, now we're going to use this guy, our right angle ruler, or our speed square. And we're going to go to the first spot where I can fit 4 inches across. So you line up this outside edge that's perfectly flat. Hey, Jaden, I really want you to understand how to do this because this is a skill that's going to be checked off, okay? So you want to make sure it's lined up perfectly on the outside, and if it is totally flush, then we're going to go ahead and cut right across that top. I'm not going to cut anywhere else. I'm only going to, so this edge is cut, and now I'm going to use that straight edge to create a 90-degree angle. Okay? Now I'm going to rotate it, and now I'm going to make this a 90-degree angle. And so kind of the thing you need to remember, so I'm going to line it up at 4 inches, because I have to make a 4-inch slab, making sure it's perfectly flush with the edge I just cut. And I'm going to cut straight down, okay? So now I have 2 right angles. Now I need to come down 4 more inches, right? So the same idea is I'm going to go ahead and take my ruler, outside, always outside edge, come to the 4-inch mark, make sure it's lined up perfectly with my outside of the place of my slab, and I'm going to cut straight across, okay? So I have 1 perfect square. See if I can get 2 out of this one. Not quite. So I'm just going to get the 1. If you can only get 1, then the next thing you do is you compress the scrap clay really, really well. You want it super compressed because you don't want air bubbles or gaps in it. And then you roll it out again. Okay? So the goal is, by the end of the day today, each student will have 1 perfect 4x4 square. You're going to get it by rolling out your slabs using slab sticks. Make sure that your slab sticks are the same thickness. It'll say right here, okay? So you guys, you can use 3/8 or you can use 1/2 inch, okay? Those are both fine. But anything smaller than that is going to be too wimpy. So I'll help you if you're confused or you think your slab sticks might not be the right thickness. I'll make sure you got the right one. You're going to need a right angle ruler, which are located right over there. And also, anytime you roll a slab, you got to roll it onto something, right? Because what happens if we put it on the desk? Yeah, you got pancake dough stuck to the desk. So you want to make sure that you grab a nice long piece of canvas for you and your partners to roll out your slabs with, okay? Once you have your slab, you're going to be really careful not to stretch it out. You're going to bag it up, and then we're going to let it sit till tomorrow, and then I might just have you help other people who are still rolling their slabs, okay? Any questions? All right. So folks, at your table groups, decide who your partners are going to be. And then once you are all set up, one person grabs your materials, someone else come to me to get the clay.